Error code E8 is a common alert in many air conditioner brands. However, its exact meaning varies depending on the brand and model. Below, we explain the different meanings of the E8 error, organized by category and corresponding brand. A. In several brands, error E8 indicates that the compressor is receiving more current than it should or has overheated. This may be due to internal compressor failures, issues with the electronic control board or the IPM, intelligent power module, which powers the inverter compressor, or in some cases, insufficient heat exchange in the outdoor unit. Brands where this occurs: Daikin Commercial, inverter compressor overcurrent. General Electric window unit, compressor overload. Chigo, overheating protection. Steps to follow. A. Check the cleanliness of the outdoor unit coil and the proper rotation of the outdoor fan. B. Measure the power supply voltage. If it is unstable, consider using a voltage stabilizer. C. If the compressor starts at all, measure its power consumption and compare it with the current indicated on the nameplate to confirm the fault. D. If it is an inverter unit, use a multimeter to measure the resistance between the compressor terminals. The values should be similar. E. If the code appears after a while, the issue could be with the outdoor fan or a dirty outdoor coil. F. If the problem is still not identified, an inverter system suspect the IPM, intelligent power module. The IPM is part of the outdoor electronic board in inverter-type air conditioners, and it powers the compressor. Before performing any tests, disconnect the unit from the power supply. High-voltage capacitors may store dangerous energy even after the equipment is turned off. To verify that the capacitors are discharged, use a multimeter in DC voltage mode. Place the probes on the terminals of the large capacitors. The reading should be close to 0 volts DC. If there is still voltage, wait or discharge them safely. The IPM is usually covered by heat dissipating fins. Its output pins are connected via 3 independent tracks and an electrical connector to the 3 pins of the compressor. Locate the positive track that connects the high-voltage capacitors to the IPM. This track is usually thick and soldered directly from the capacitor's positive terminal to the IPM. Likewise, identify the negative track connecting the capacitor's negative terminal to the IPM. Follow the tracks from the compressor connector to the IPM to identify the 3 output terminals, U, V, and W. Set the multimeter to diode mode, usually marked with a diode symbol. The IPM contains 6 IGBT transistors, and each one has an internal diode that can be tested externally. Procedure to test the first 3 diodes. Place the black probe of the multimeter on the positive input of the IPM. With the red probe, measure terminals U, V, and W. Each reading should show a minimum activation value close to 0.45 volts, and all readings should be nearly the same. Testing the remaining 3 diodes. Now place the red probe on the negative input of the IPM. With the black probe, measure points U, V, and W again. Again, the readings should be around 0.45 volts. All values should be similar between the 3 terminals. B. E8 error due to evaporator thermal faults, overheating or freezing. In some brands, E8 is related to temperature issues in the evaporator, either due to overheating in heating mode or freezing in cooling mode. Brands where this occurs: Mitsubishi, overheating in heating mode. Chigo, thermal protection due to excessive temperature. Possible solutions. Check the condition of sensors and the indoor coil. Ensure the fan is working properly. Check for airflow obstructions. C. E8 error due to temperature sensor faults. This can happen for several reasons. A. Open circuit. The sensor is broken or its wire is cut. No current flow, so the board receives no signal. When measured with a disconnected multimeter, resistance will be infinite. B. Short circuit. The wires are touching, or the sensor is internally damaged. Resistance will be close to zero, producing an abnormal reading. C. Sensor out of range. Some units display E8 when there is a fault in the discharge or ambient sensors. The sensor works, but it is miscalibrated. The resistance does not match the actual temperature. Affected brands. Actronair, outdoor discharge sensor failure. TCL, outdoor discharge sensor failure. Pioneer, discharge sensor failure. McQuay Commercial, outdoor ambient temperature sensor failure. How to check. Measure the sensor resistance. It should vary with temperature. Check if the sensor is damaged, infinite or zero resistance. Verify the board's 2.5V DC power supply with the sensor connected. D. E8 error due to fan failures. Another common cause of E8 is a malfunctioning fan, either indoor or outdoor. Cases by brand. Carrier, outdoor console fan malfunction. Lennox, outdoor fan speed failure. Gree, indoor fan rotation too slow or stopped. Medea, fan motor failure. Akai, indoor fan fault. Sharp, indoor fan protection. Steps to troubleshoot air conditioner fan problems. 1. Observe fan operation. Check if the fan spins slowly or does not start at all. This info is key to diagnosing the issue. Slow spinning often indicates a faulty capacitor or mechanical blockage. 2. Visual inspection with power off. Check the blades or blower for obstructions or visible damage. Manually spin the motor shaft to ensure it moves freely. This helps rule out mechanical blockages or bearing failures. 3. Cleaning. If no visible issues are found, clean the blades or blower. Clean the air filters. This can improve heat exchange and system performance. 4. Check electrical connections. Verify there are no loose contacts in the fan's power supply that could prevent the motor from starting. 5. Check the capacitor. Some fans require a capacitor to work correctly. Check if your unit has one. Inspect the connections. If needed, test with another capacitor with the same specs. Quick test. Power the motor and manually spin the fan. If it starts, the capacitor is likely faulty. 6. Measure motor resistance with the motor disconnected. Use a multimeter in ohms mode to measure resistance between thick wire pairs of the motor. No measurement should be zero or infinite. If any are, it indicates a motor winding issue. 7. Motors without capacitor or DC motors. Check resistance between thick wire pairs. All three readings should be equal. If not, there's a problem in the motor windings. 8. Check the fan speed sensor signal connector. Identify the 3 thin wires going from the fan to the control board. With the motor off but the thin wires connected and the board powered on, place the multimeter probes on the fan speed sensor connection. When the reading shows 5 volts, the red probe is on the sensor's positive power supply. The black probe is on the sensor's ground. The remaining wire is the signal wire, and this voltage changes when the fan shaft rotates. 9. Check the IPM for the fan. DC fan motors require an IPM module. It may be integrated into the motor, common in indoor units, or located on the control board, common in outdoor units. To check the IPM for the fan, follow the same steps shown earlier for the compressor's IPM module.